I'm ready.
So hi, this is Rudy with MBM. I'm going to go over the 352S folder. Positions, this actually drives your fold rollers. You have to pull out to engage it. So you don't actually, it's not spinning off on. Your actual speed control. And then this button here is actually for your blower. That gives you your air suction and your feed suction. Up top here, this is the most important part, and you can always refer to the cheat sheet that comes with the machine. But the way these machines operate, they're bottom fed. So you would put your stock in, set up, this is 8.5 wide. So we set our side guide, back side guide to the 8.5 mark. And if you notice, there's no mark on this side, because you take and loosen and bring this side guide into the paper to where it's just touching slightly. You don't want to buckle the paper because it will not feed. And then you want to kind of just move the paper back and forth and make sure it floats nicely. And this is just on setup. Now here, this is where it's kind of tricky for everyone. The way this operates, this is your separator, and this is the feed drum. So if I'm gonna swap places with Carrie. So if I rotate the rollers, you see the feed drum is turning also. And if I bring that feed drum hole opening right up to the lead edge of the separator, and if you look down inside here, you'll see those holes are open. So they're closed, now they're back open. So what happens is the paper's against your separator. The drum pulls the paper down the suction and then under the separator. So that's how you're not getting doubles. Now that's on bond paper, 60-pound paper, or 60-pound offset, something you can move. Now some heavier stocks, if you want to do a card stock, it's very difficult to pull that down. So that's why this is actually what we call inclinated. So it's not going straight back, it's actually going back and up. And if you see there's some red marks here, these red marks are your basically home position. That's for your 20-pound and 60-pound, like we just had it set. So if I bring this all the way back up to here, now the paper is basically going to have a straight shot in the machine. It's not going to be pulled down and under because, like I said, it's difficult to pull cardstock. But now if I bring those drum openings back up to the edge, you notice now it's closed. You see that inside, Carrie? So now it's closed, but there's a position here for thicker and thinner paper on the side of the machine. So if you watch, when I move that, see the internal drum moves. So for thicker paper, you would bring it to where it's open, and that's an adjustment right here. It shows you thicker and thinner. And then a lot of times what'll happen is people will run thick paper and they leave this here, and then they'll move the separator back down for thinner paper, but not readjust their drum, and it just will not feed at that point. So you always have to bring the hold opening to here in front of the drum, and then make sure, boom, there it goes, it's open now on the internal drum. So now it'll feed. Now we've got our separator set up. It's just a matter of loading the paper in. And you do have on the side guides, there are some levers or knobs. That is open, that's closed, and what that's doing is blowing air into the paper from each side has them. So for thinner paper, right now these are turned off. This is on. You don't need as many on for thin paper. You can't have too much air and it floats it so much it won't feed because it never gets pulled down to the feed drum. So that's just something based on the stock you're using. You'll have to adjust those accordingly. And also back here, these are actually the air blowing into these switches up top here, or knobs up top. And then also this is for your vacuum drum, so that's actually pulling down. These also, collars regulate the pressure, and that's also based on the stock you're using, how heavy or thin the stock. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the blower. It's kind of loud. And then I'm pressing down, holding the back of the paper so it won't move. I turn the machine on. If I just want to test it, I'll let one go through, stop. Still holding the paper down, and I can check my fold. And if I'm off slightly, the thumb screws on each fold plate move the backstop up and down slightly until I get the desired fold I want. And then it's released. And that's a quick reference. And then the cheat sheet I mentioned a minute ago will have basically your paper sizes, and then folder A and B. So your what we call our first fold plate, second fold plate. The plates are numbered. So if you look at your first fold plate, which is number one's here, there's an A and an A. And then if you go to the plate itself, you'll see the numbers, the numbers, and actually the numerals correspond to the cheat sheet for your, basically for your standard cut sheet size is 8.5. And if you do have custom sizes, it's just a matter of moving them manually, and that's just your thumb screw here, and you move the plate to whatever your desired numerical number would be. All right, thanks.